by surprise that he didn't run better, because he was made a strong favourite that day for his handicap debut. The run at Musselburgh, I think you can make him look very well handicapped on that, because Outlaw Peter has since won a handicap in really good fashion at Ascot the other day off a mark of 130. Or was it Kempton? Sorry, it was, wasn't it, on that consolation day as was. And Inishaw and him took part in a real ding-dong battle from 2 out. Inishaw just got the better of it, and I'd put a line through the Rendlesham run. He was dropped out, not given an unduly hard time. Yes, he's £9 higher than when he was beaten in a handicap, but I'd be surprised if Connections think that's the ceiling of his ability. He's a good-looking horse, loads of strength to him.
Nick Alexander's horses are in good nick. Theme Tune's on a hat-trick after the wins at Haydock and at Newcastle. He's gone up a total of £11. Hasn't been seen out since the Newcastle win in January, but he was declared the other day at Doncaster. He was taken out because the ground wasn't soft enough. He'll have his conditions today.
Yeah, he will. And for a horse who's got loads of form over staying trips, he's not a slow boy. He actually travels, but he sees his races out well too. He's been guided to success for those 3 of 6 in handicaps lately by Danny Burton, who's now retired. So Sean Bowen, plus there, gets the ride in him for the first time. He's up to 117, and I don't think the Fontwell race was very strong, but he's in good nick and he's got no excuses in terms of conditions. Similar comments apply to Theme Tune. He's a clumsy old so-and-so, but he looked in great nick beforehand. Certainly didn't look like he needed the run. We're not seeing him for a couple of months since the start of January, but he too is a thorough stayer. Saw her off Bushy Park at Newcastle. That horse won over fences next time.
And as I take one last turn, a very quick line on Jetlegs, up in trip after winning going away at Wetherby last time. Dave was putting in a good word for Jetlegs.
Yeah, I'd be slightly niggled, particularly as his favourite now, whether this track will play to his strengths to the same extent as Wetherby did, because it was only late in the day. I thought Theo Gillard, who I keep praising, was brilliant on him. He kept him straight when he was trying to hang late on, and he delivered him to beat his brother, actually. Fergus was on the runner-up. £5 higher now, that's not so off-putting, and he is over a longer trip, and I think that'll definitely suit him the way he races. But he's been beaten a fair few times, and now he's 3-1 for a stronger handicap at a track I'm not so sure will play to his staying strengths as well.
Coming into the line for race 2, let's go back to Gareth.
Runners about to come forward. And bang to time, they're off and running. This is the Schloss at Roxburgh Hotel and Spa handicap hurdle over 3¼ miles. And galloping towards the first of 13 flights with Pim on his comeback, showing out in the lead by around about a length and a half to Leo Star racing in second, and then the light green colours of Theme Tune in third. Spike Jones is in fourth, and they're being chased by Flower of Scotland, who's wider out of Inisheer, and Jetlegs held up at the back of the field. They're all safely over the first flight, and a long run now before they get to number 2, which is the first of a couple up the home straight. And it is Pim, who's been off the track for 538 days. It's his first start today for trainer Nigel Twiston-Davis, and he's over along the inside of Leo Star, who represents last year's winning connections of this race. With back in third, the hat-trick-seeking Theme Tune, who has scored at both Haydock Park and Newcastle the last twice. Spike Jones over towards the inside in the red and white colours, took that in fourth. Then Flower of Scotland, the Borders national heroine from earlier on in the season. She's 3 out of 3 here at Kelso, Flower of Scotland. And then to her inside is Inisheer, and the back marker continues to be Jetlegs, a recent winner down at Wetherby, as they make the run towards the flight of hurdles, which in another 2 further circuits will be their last. And through these early stages of the race, no more than 7 or 8 lengths covering top to tail. And with ears pricked, it is Pim, who's over with the lead, and they all touch down safely and well. Leo Star is racing in second. In third up the inside goes Spike Jones, and further back then to Theme Tune with up the inside Inisheer. Inisheer with the white face, and then the grey Flower of Scotland, and Jetlegs is a further length or so behind the back marker. So venturing away from us out towards the far side of the track, and up ahead it is Pim. Now a 10-year-old Pim, and showing out in front from, in second position, Leo Star. Leo Star, a dual course winner. Spike Jones towards the inside is running in third, ahead of him fourth at Theme Tune. And in behind those, Inisheer, with out a bit wider Flower of Scotland, and still Jetlegs looking on from the tail of the field as they cross the first flight of hurdles going down the far side. All over safely and well, and continuing their run down the back straight, and now on towards flight 5. Pim and Leo Star continuing to occupy the first 2 positions. Racing on ahead of Spike Jones in third. Theme Tune also nose-banded, a little wider out under Bruce Lynn as they come towards the last of the flights over in the back straight. Inishir travelling well, the white sleeves over to the inside for Connections, who had a decent day up at Musselburgh yesterday in terms of winners, and then a little wider out is Flower of Scotland, representing Sandy Thompson and Ryan Mannier, who had an excellent meeting here on Moor Battle Day 3 weeks ago. And at the back of the field, still Jet Legs as they cross the flight of hurdles, which was their first a circuit ago. They're all over it safely, and Pym continues to pace set as they gallop on towards the halfway stage of this, the Schloss Roxburgh Hotel handicap hurdle. And it is Pym, a couple of lengths ahead over Leo Star. A neck back in third is Spike Jones. Running next is Theme Tune, followed by Inishir along the inside of Flower of Scotland, and still Jet Legs looking on under Patrick Lodge as they head back on into the home straight. And they're now at the halfway stage of this second race on the card. And it is Pym towards the inside of Leo Star. Good jump there from Pym. Further back in the field, Inishir was a little less than fluent, although no great harm done, as they continue the run back towards us here in the stands. Still over a circuit at left to travel. And no great changes, really, with Pym continuing to conduct the orchestra by around about a length and a half over Spike Jones along the inside of Leo Star, then Theme Tune, with in behind runners Flower of Scotland, Inishir and Jet Legs patiently ridden as they race now to the 8th flight of hurdles, the 8th of 13. That time Theme Tune rather fluffed his lines. He was never going to meet the flight on a great stride, and he just managed to paddle his way through the top of it as they head past us with a circuit left to travel. They're now as tightly grouped as they've ever been, with only 4 lengths first to last. Leo Star, who's got very warm beforehand, sweating freely up towards the outside of Pym. They are the leading pair, with up in behind them Flower of Scotland, and then Theme Tune and Spike Jones, Inishir and Jet Legs as they're about to turn left-handed into the back straight for the final time. They have about a mile left to go here, and it is Pym and towards the outside Leo Star. They continue to race on as the leading pair, with Flower of Scotland, the grey, now improving her position up towards the outside. With rider Ryan Mannier seeing a strider a long way off that hurdle, and she came up well. She stays very, very well, of course, does Flower of Scotland, as they now race on towards the final hurdle over in the back straight, which will be the 4th from home. Pym, the blue sleeves. Leo Star now applying pressure for the lead. Theme Tune in between them in the light green. Then to the outside, Flower of Scotland, and they're being chased by Jet Legs, who's now beginning to ease a little bit closer to the outside of Spike Jones. And as they race towards the end of the back straight, Inishir now finds himself in last place under Derek Fox, making the run out of the back straight and on now towards the 3rd flight from home. Leo Star and Flower of Scotland are now the leading 2 as Pym begins to feel the heat and is dropping back and was hindered by a slightly sloppy jump there. All the while, Jet Legs in the two-tone blue checks is improving, with Spike Jones also now getting into the mix. Theme Tune is there as well. Inishir the back marker, but only just, and is only around about 4 lengths off Flower of Scotland, who's about to be committed for home here by Ryan Mannier, turning into the home straight. So they've got 2 more flights of hurdles left to get across, and it is Flower of Scotland. Well, she won't stop. She's out in front here by a couple over Spike Jones and Jet Legs away to the left as they came over 2 out. Further back then to Theme Tune along the inside. Inishir trying to box on, trying to stay on in behind them. Leo Star and Pym have now dropped away as they head on this long run in between the final 2 flights of hurdles, and it is Flower of Scotland towards the inside who shows in front, but Spike Jones in the centre and Jet Legs down the outside are trying everything they can to get on terms with this course-loving mare as they approach the final flight. Inishir with a white face away to the left is not out of it either, is staying on well. Here's the final flight of hurdles. Jet Legs took over. Jet Legs now from Spike Jones. Up the inside is Flower of Scotland, and then Inishir into the final 75 yards in the noseband. Spike Jones near side. Jet Legs on top. Jet Legs wins. Jet Legs gets there from in second place Spike Jones, with in behind them Flower of Scotland, and then Inishir, Theme Tune, Pym and Leo Star.
Jet Legs then up and trip, and a horse that won going away from a hold-up ride at Wetherby last time. Patrick Lodge's £5 allowance made all the difference, Dan, because there wasn't much between Jet Legs and Spike Jones.
Movements, so near 2¼ miles the trip. Heritier arriving at the start in the 2 shades of blue diamond jacket with the black and orange sleeves, the star on the cap. Heritier ridden by Fergus Gregory, shouldering joint top weight here. There's Imac Wood in the white with the blue epaulets and the blue armlets and the blue cap. Imac Wood in the hands of Chris Ward. 2 runners for Donald McCain. Blueberry Wine in the famous red rum racing colours, maroon with a yellow diamond and cap. And Senatis, a winner here over course and distance last season, in the red with the yellow stars. The grey just arriving at the start is Risk d'Argent in the grey with the red spots. Third start over fences for Risk d'Argent to Jack Tudor on board. Oscar's leader represents Jenny Candlish and John Marriott in the blue and yellow quarters. Darrow O'Keefe, Cheltenham Festival winning jockey, in the saddle. Marty, the Scottish raider for the informed Lucinda Russell, is in the blue with the yellow braces and the yellow sleeves and the yellow cap. And one coming to the course a long time after the others is Muse of Fire. The others are at the start, but Tabitha Worsley just making her way down the walkway to the course on Muse of Fire, who's in the purple and yellow hoop jacket, the purple sleeves and purple cap of owner CJ Tipton. Gary Hanmer trained. Cheek pieces on for the first time today for Muse of Fire. Tabitha Worsley doing the steering aboard Gary Hanmer's runner. Other runners are arriving at the post. We'll take a check on the market. Heading the market here, Risk d'Argent at 7-2 in an open-looking betting race. Heritier is 13-2 and Oscar's leader 13-2. So joint second favourites. Blueberry Wine is 7-1, 15-2, 2-2-3. Who was a little reluctant to go to post initially for Alan Johns. Alan dismounted, but then was quickly back on board, and 2-2-3 made his way safely to the start. Orange and green Diablo with light blue sleeves, the colours for 2-2-3. A little bit of support for Higgs, who's in the red with the white disc. Red with a white disc and spots on the sleeves. 8-1 from nines. And our Marty is 9-1. 9-1 from tens. Muse of Fire still on his way to the start. It's 12-1 Imac Wood. And Senatis, one of two here for Donald McCain, was 22s, now into 20-1. Thanks to Stella Artois for their support. It is the Stella Artois handicap chase over 2¼ miles, and runners nearing the post. So runners are gathering at the start for this at 2:33 on the card. Muse of Fire is reaching the post somewhere behind the others and just getting to the starts. Muse of Fire just joining the others now at the post. So Muse of Fire now reaching the start, others safely at the post. So runners are at the start. Muse of Fire late to post. Senatis has won the Best Turned Out award. One of two here for Donald McCain, and is a previous course winner, £6 below the winning mark off which he won last season. Muse of Fire just having the girths checked at the start. Blueberry Wine in the famous red rum colours is the other Donald McCain runner. Marty is a chase debutant making the journey south for informed Lucinda Russell. Heritier in the diamond jacket is shouldering top weight here. All seems well with Muse of Fire down at the start. Runners coming out onto the course, and they'll be lining up shortly for this Stella Artois handicap chase. Taking 12 fences, one on the far side. Starter has raised the flag. Runners being called in, and they're off. It's the Stella Artois handicap chase over approximately 2¼ miles. They're making their run towards the first fence. One of the first to show Oscar's leader, disputing it with Higgs, and the grey Risk d'Argent is well there. Blueberry Wine in the next group with 2-2-3 and Senatis as they jump this first fence. And they've all taken it safely. The last to take it was Heritier in the diamond jacket. Muse of Fire with white cheek pieces also in the last group of three, along with the Scottish raider Our Marty as they swing left-handed, head towards the two plain fences in the straight first time round. And Higgs on the inside disputes it with Oscar's leader, who sports the visor, And then wide is Risque d'Argent. They're the front three. They show by a couple of lengths. Another in red colours is Senatis, who's won the best Turned Out award. Light blue sleeves of 2-2-3 and Blueberry Wine. And Risque d'Argent jumped markedly to the left at that fence, but cleared it with a little bit to spare from in second place Higgs and Oscar's Leader. And then 2-2-3 and Blueberry Wine. Heritier's improved a little on the inside. Nose banded in a diamond jacket. Right out the back is Marty on chasing debut, as once again Risque d'Argent jumped markedly left and jumped across Oscar's Leader as they cleared the fence that will be the last in a circuit's time. So it's Risque d'Argent disputing it with Oscar's Leader, now moving to that one's outside, which could be a wise move. Close up on the inside is Higgs and then Blueberry Wine. Blueberry Wine being followed by stablemates Senatis, and between runners the orange cap of 2-2-3, and then Héritier and Imat Wood, Muse of Fire and Our Marty, the back marker. They take the fence on the run away from the enclosures. And there's a mistake at the back there from Muse of Fire, but negotiated it safely enough. Our Marty held up and kept wide of the others as they race on towards another plain fence. This is number 5. Higgs with the advantage, just a length clear. Blueberry Wine tracking closely. Still there in the front group is Oscar's Leader. Risque d'Argent is close up on the wide outside. And in behind them races Senatis and 2-2-3. And then Héritier on the inside of the white and blue of Imac Wood. And then Muse of Fire and the wide racing Our Marty as they take a ditch. Marty just brushed through the top of it, but they've all jumped it safely. And they swing away towards the far side and on towards fence number 7. Higgs with the lead, William Kennedy. Higgs looking for a first win over fences today. Just a narrow advantage from Oscar's Leader and Darrow O'Keefe. With a link to Blueberry Wine and Risque d'Argent and 2-2-3 racing 5th. In 6th is Héritier. 7th then is Senatis, but close up. Wide is Our Marty. Muse of Fire in the first time cheek pieces in the rear group with Imat Wood, who's last of the bunch and about 6 lengths behind the leader Higgs as they cross this 7th fence. We'll take it without problem once more. There's been little change in the order with Higgs leading Oscar's Leader as they turn left-handed and race over on the far side of the track with 5 more to take. 4 out will be an open ditch, but first a plain one. And it's Higgs with the lead of a length from Oscar's Leader, Blueberry Wine close up. And right behind them, Risque d'Argent, who's never been too far away, jumping a little straighter as the race has warmed up. And then 2-2-3 has always been hunting up the leaders. Héritier's gone the shortest way throughout as they take the ditch. And there, Our Marty blundered very badly. It's a really good recovery from Charlie Deutsch, but almost came out off the back of Our Marty, but did well to recover as the leaders press on towards 3 from home. And the new leader is Oscar's Leader. Oscar's Leader going on from Higgs. Risque d'Argent still there, disputing second place, making steady progress. In behind them is Blueberry Wine. Héritier is ridden along by Fergus Gregory. As the leaders now begin the swing towards the home straight with 2 more to take. Oscar's Leader in front for Darrow O'Keefe. Risque d'Argent urged along on the leaders outside. Still battling away is Higgs there towards the inside. And then now making stealthy progress towards the left is Blueberry Wine, who travels through strongly for Brian Hughes. They're 3 or 4 lengths ahead of Héritier. 2-2-3 has dropped away, coming towards 2 from home. And at the second last, it was Risque d'Argent who took over from Oscar's Leader. Blueberry Wine now being ridden to challenge. And then follows Higgs, who's now towards the left, but is staying on under pressure. They're clear of Héritier. Risque d'Argent with Blueberry Wine coming there powerfully on the near side to deliver a challenge at the last. Blueberry Wine comes through to tackle Risque d'Argent, who jumped away to the left. And then in third is Oscar's Leader, from back in fourth Higgs. But it's Blueberry Wine with the advantage as they race inside the last half furlong. Not doing an awful lot in front, but is 2 or 3 lengths clear. And this will go the way of Blueberry Wine, Brian Hughes for Donald McCain. And Redrum Racing goes on to score. Oscar's Leader probably just held Risque d'Argent in a battle for second, third. Fourth was Higgs. And then Héritier.
Two. Over on the far side, Great Snow with the noseband shares the lead with on the near side Lagonda. Between those two, it is Annie Magic who races just in third. Ebonello will rise in fourth with Fortuna Ligna towards the near side. And then I Love the Nightlife and Energy One working towards the near side is Let's Go to Vegas, who's been followed early by Blue Beach. And then towards the outside is Orbis Walk. Covered up is Mo Vidi as they go over the flight through the last inner circuit's time. Still towards the rear of the field, Philippa Sue together with Ruby Island and the back marker as they pass the stands is Royal Dance. So they now have another circuit to go, and on the inside it is Great Snow who has shared the lead with Lagonda. Those are the first two. Racing in third position, the green of Annie Magic with around the outside Fortuna Ligna and Let's Go to Vegas. I Love the Nightlife towards the inside rail is in sixth position. In seventh is Ebonello as they pass the stands with Blue Beach around the outside and Energy One who's up against the inside rail. Next in their field is Orbis Walk, who's quite keen and a little bit wide around that turn. Just ridden that turn was Mo Vidi. Then towards the inside rail is Philippa Sue. On the inside is Ruby Island. Shuffle back is I Am Gonna Be, and still at the back of the field, last of the 15 is Royal Dance as they face up now towards the first of the 4 flights of hurdles taken down the back straight. And it is Lagonda towards the outside who will just have the lead to Great Snow on the inner who took it in second. Let's Go to Vegas was over in third. I Love the Nightlife towards the inside of Annie Magic in fourth and fifth, with on the wide outside Fortuna Ligna, one of those who is going widest of all, being followed down the back straight by I'm Gonna Be, who is still towards the rear of the field as they've now got over the next, which was the second flight taken down the back straight. Going on now towards halfway, Great Snow on the inside. In the centre of the course, Lagonda, being followed then by Let's Go to Vegas in third. Fortuna Ligna on the outside, and then Annie Magic with right on the inside, I Love the Nightlife, but they're still very tightly packed as they go over the third flight taken down the back straight, and they're now going inside the final 7 furlongs. On now towards the next, which will be the fourth from home, and it is still Great Snow and Sam Tristan-Davies right through on the inside, not fluent but had the lead. A mistake there by Mo Vidi who hit that flight, and ridden at the back of the field is I Am Gonna Be. So they're making the turn out of the back straight, and it is Lagonda on the outside of Great Snow, still the first two. Let's Go to Vegas is racing in third. I Love the Nightlife is in fourth position. Blue Beach improves into fifth. Fortuna Ligna is in sixth. Towards the inside, Energy One in seventh. Orbis Walk made the turn in 8th place, followed then towards the outside in 9th by Ruby Island, who's trying to improve from some way back. Then on the inside is Ebonello. Also on the inner is Philippa Sue, who's got a wall of horses in front of her. Then Mo Vidi. Then around the outer from a long way back is Royal Dance, and totally tailed off is I Am Gonna Be. So they're making the turn in. They've now got a half mile to go, and on the inside the leader is Great Snow. Great Snow leads to on the near side. Let's Go to Vegas in the red colours, Lagonda and I Love the Nightlife as they cross over 3 out. Great Snow's lead was a couple of lengths as they race on now towards the second from home. Pulled up at the back of the field was Annie Magic. I'm Gonna Be has also been pulled up before the third from home. 3 furlongs to go and 2 flights to take, and Great Snow still leads the mares. Staying on now into second is Blue Beach and I Love the Nightlife. Over on the far side, Energy One still tries to get involved as they go over the second from home, and Great Snow still has the advantage over in second place. I Love the Nightlife. In third now is Blue Beach. Then towards the near side, Lagonda is in fourth. Fortuna Ligna, followed by Philippa Sue. Over on the far side, Energy One, and from a long way back is Ruby Island. They've jumped the final flight of hurdles, and now a long run in. I Love the Nightlife has claimed the near side rail and goes on with a furlong to go. I Love the Nightlife and Brendan Powell lead, now giving chase. Blue Beach into second. Great Snow is still there. They're clear of Fortuna Ligna and then Lagonda. They're racing inside the final 100 yards. I Love the Nightlife is out in front, and I Love the Nightlife wins. In second came Blue Beach, and it was close for third between the rallying Great Snow and on the near side Fortuna Ligna.
I Love the Nightlife wins the 2023 renewal of the EBF final, Grade 2 for mares and for novices, and does it in very taking fashion as well, travelling super sweetly through the race and putting the contest to bed in very nice fashion indeed. It was a nice performance that I thought.
It was. She's done everything right. Tracked the pace, travelled strongly, took it up and battled. Good performance, top weight as well, so she was giving some weight to everything, and she's obviously handled these ground conditions fine. It was much softer than Doncaster for her last time out, but she's a real improver, and she's certainly looked very straightforward in how she's gone about her business here today. She did just tighten up, or a couple of them squeezed and pincered together to squeeze out the runner-up Blue Beach at one stage up the home straight, but I don't think it made any difference really, because Blue Beach never got close enough to consider her unfortunate. And you can see as we come down with 3 furlongs to run and 2 flights to jump, I Love the Nightlife got a double handful, Brendan Powell.
Yeah, she certainly has. Delighted Owners just going past me now, and yeah, I have to say, I thought the current leader, Great Snow, is on an absolute belter, because beforehand I didn't really give her much of a chance.
No, it was a great effort from the front, wasn't it? Travel.
But and she herself wasn't beaten far by Vernay here in her maiden on Oaks Weekend, Irish Oaks Weekend last year. She was pretty well beaten by Shelton on her last run last season, and just maybe this ground might not be what she wants, whereas Water Nymph proved that she could cope with this ground when she kept on to finish second behind Drummond Life at Goran Park on soft ground. That was only her second run. It was only 8 days after her racecourse debut as well last October.
Loading up the stalls, interesting one going forward there in the famous Pillar Colours Aussie Girl, who ran well at a big price at Dundalk the last time we saw her in November. Probably a fair bit more depth to the opposition today, though, you'd say. Any others that we might have overlooked on worth a mention?
Yeah, Queenie Sinclair we mentioned there on extra as well. She finished 4th behind Papilio here on Irish Guineas Weekend last year. That was just her second run. We haven't seen her since, and the ground was yielding that day a wee bit better than today's, but she did well. She was prominent from early that day, and she kept on going. She's a well-bred mare as well. Her dam's a half-sister to Galactic Star, who stayed 10 and 12 furlongs. So this filly, she could step up from 6 furlongs to 7 furlongs. That should suit her too.
Not many more left to load, it would appear. Just a handful still out of line. They include the favourite, Honey Girl, who is one of just 2 4-year-olds in the lineup here, both of them having to carry 10 stone 2. The other one, Second Fiddle, a big priced outsider. You can see he's got quite warm, actually, Second Fiddle there as well, number 2.
Brazilian Princess, she represents Adrian Murray and Kevin Stott again at Amo Racing, and she's last seen back in December at Dundalk when she was only just beaten by Dynamite Katie. That was over 7 furlongs. She's run on turf as well. She hasn't raced on ground this soft, but she does have experience, and having raced in December, she probably has more race fitness on her side than some of her rivals, and she's a filly who's got plenty of potential upside as well.
12 to 1 shot currently, Brazilian Princess. As the last couple are set to slot in, we'll hand it up to Jerry Hannon. Race 3, it's the Cavalier Equine Nutrition Fillies Maiden over 7 furlongs.
White flag is raised. All appear in. Dead off. Slow coming out of stalls was the 8 filly Curzon Queen. 7 furlongs to go here in the Cavalier Equine Nutrition Fillies Maiden. Today's third race as they tack across to the elbow. Prominent is unless on the inside of the favourite Honey Girl, and the centre is Angel of the Sea, being followed by a keen running Aussie Girl. Tracking the pair of runners on the far side is Queenie Sinclair. It's unless just leading by over a length to Honey Girl Queenie Sinclair. And on the stand side is Angel of the Sea, who's followed by Water Nymph and Tush Doon in between horses. And they're being followed by Aussie Girl and Brazilian Princess and second fiddle next with Moonlig and Timeless Peace with the noseband. In the centre of them is Lolita and Floatus Radiance and Step Dance, Curzon Queen and Chica Linda, the final couple. They've passed the halfway stage, and it's Unlist upholding a one-length advantage over Queenie Sinclair, dropping a position to third, Honey Girl. Three on the far side, clearly with the advantage. Few lengths in front of Aussie Girl, and then Angel of the Sea and Brazilian Princess, and Lolita next with Tush Doon, gapping back then to Water Nymph, who's faded, and then Timeless Peace. They're racing towards the final furlong on less from Honey Girl, coming to challenge, being followed then by Aussie Girl, running on as Tush Doon on the outside of a fading Queenie Sinclair. Honey Girl gets level with Unless with just over 50 yards to go, and it's Honey Girl in front, makes the breakthrough for a new connection. Second is Unless, Tush Doon third, 5 lengths off them, then Aussie Girl and Queenie Sinclair.
Big field went to post, but it was really a straight fight inside that last furlong between Honey Girl and the Justify filly Unless. And Honey Girl has come out on top. The 6-5 favourite gains a long overdue first career success on her debut for the new connections today. Unless certainly made her work for it. Tush Doon has shaped really nicely in third. We'll take it from the stalls. Curzon Queen, one of the debutants, very slow to go. But what's your initial thoughts, Don? Do you think that was a decent maiden?
Yeah, I think it was. And it was good to see Unless bouncing back to form. She's got the breeding to be a high-class filly. She was beaten in 3 runs last season as a juvenile, but she's bounced back to form here in her debut as a 3-year-old. And Honey Girl, she's got that rating of 102 that we were discussing earlier on, Gary. And she was highly tried last season. She competed in some of the really good fillies races, and it's good that she's got her win on the board now. She's deserved to get her win on the board, and it always looked like she might. She's travelled really well over on the far side there for Dylan Brown McMonigal, just tracked Unless on the far side, and the first and second they're drawn 4 and 2. Tush Doon, she's the one, Jim Bulger's filly in the centre, who's done best of those who race in the centre.
It's kind of difficult to draw conclusions from that, isn't it? Because obviously these are two of the market principles that are amongst the 3 that stayed more towards the end there, but might just be a bit of food for thought for later in the day. Whereas Water Nymph, the other Ballydoyle filly, the riding was on the wall very early for her, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought she'd handle the ground better than her stable companion Unless, but it proved to be the opposite way around. Unless has really travelled over on the far rail, whereas Water Nymph, she's come under a ride from Shamie Heffernan out in the centre on the run to the 3 furlong marker, and she just hasn't gone forward. Aussie Girl, the filly that you gave a good mention to beforehand, Gary, she's run well as well on the far side, and Tush Doon, she's finished off her race nicely to get up for the runner-up spot, but it's just here where Honey Girl just gets the better of Unless. You kind of suspected she would. It always looked like she was travelling a wee bit better, but Unless, in fairness, she's gone to the line strongly, and the pair of them have pulled nicely clear of their rivals.